Alright, here we are, part 5. Let's go. Last time we talked about some huge pufferfish, and I thought why not continue that trend a bit and talk about some smaller pufferfish. These ones are the fingerprint Tobys, and you might even already have noticed that they're slightly round in their belly, and I thought that that's because they were having a bunch of eggs in there. But honestly, when I look at it now, it kind of seems like they're trying to scare me away by puffing up a little bit, so who knows. They are quite social and territorial creatures, so maybe they were feeling that a trespass or something? I don't know. They also have quite a few fair varieties, and these are just some of the more common ones. The black-saddled Toby will occasionally appear in schools, often accompanied by the black-saddle Toby, which is actually not a pufferfish at all, but it's a filefish that's evolved to look like the same thing. And it just survived the best, like natural selection. So if you have a close look, you can actually see that the fish on the left of this image has got fins extending from the back all the way to the tail on either side of the fish. The pufferfish on the right side has got two tiny little fins just near the tail end. And that's it. That's the difference. Other fish that actually also engage in social activities and they like to stay together for most of their lifetime, it's actually the pipefish. And they mate for life. In nature, flashy colors, they actually mean dangerous, and these ones are taking advantage of it because they're not dangerous at all. They're pipefish. When I first saw this one, I actually thought it was a strange looking stick that was swaying somewhat weird in the current. And sticks don't normally stand up straight like this. So I thought it was a really good find. Most of the footage in this entire video is actually shot in shallow waters, so there'll be a good amount of stabilized footage if you haven't already noticed. This was also the first and only time I ever saw the Scribbled pipefish. Just goes to show how good the camouflage actually is. Unless they move, of course. And then on the way to a depth dive site, I saw what I thought was a seahorse, camouflaged as the seagrass. But I was later told that it was just a pipefish actually. People just said, oh, it's just a pipefish, nothing special. This guy is also a pipefish, but he is a really big one. A blue-spotted cornetfish, to be exact. They usually don't actually move around at night and, well, I'm sorry, but I think I might have blinded the poor guy. It's pretty cool that his eyes are square instead of round, if you noticed. And we also got Chinese trumpetfish. They're very common in this area. There's millions of them. Maybe not millions, but that's a lot. So, and this guy was hiding behind some rope, and I thought that was pretty cool because, like, it's trying to mimic the rope and hide away, but I kind of ruined that for him. There's also quite a lot of ribbon eels in this area of Indonesia, or like in Indonesia in general, I guess. This guy I found while I was snorkeling, and they're completely harmless, I was told, but this one seemed a little bit dangerous. It kind of seemed it didn't want me there, so I just backfinned and tried to stay away from it, but it was pretty tricky. Anyway, eventually it just sort of like shooted off and it was gone. Some of the more common type of eels you will see here are Moray eels. They are not that long, but they usually only stick out in rocks, and that's why you can see them like this. This guy was at night, obviously, because there's a lot of lights. And there was a fish in front of this eel, and I was actually really hoping that the eel would catch the fish, but it didn't. So this guy here is a Snowflake Moray eel, and I thought he was really pretty. It was also the first time I ever saw that. And the snowflake eel, it's not actually as big as all the other ones, but it definitely makes up for it in its camouflage. That's a giant moray eel. And when I say giant, it's just like, it's bigger than the others. But it's not giant. Oh, would you look at that, a sea snake. But no, actually, no, it's not a sea snake. It's a banded snake eel. It's perfectly harmless, and the pattern is just due to something called, what is this, Batesian mimicry. Yep, exactly like that. It clearly wasn't too fond of me, as you can see. Like, I knew I was getting a bit close just to so I could get some good footage of it. And then it put on this interesting display of defense mechanism and to look big and threatening. Like, I don't know if there's actually poison in the tip of that tail, but I wasn't gonna go and find out, because no way. That would probably hurt anyway. There are also a lot of different colors for these guys. This convict snake eel. And I wasn't able to find any information on it, unfortunately, other than it being a very rare one, or at least in Japan. But we're in Indonesia, so I don't know what that's about. Anyway, it seems to be foraging for small things in the ocean, and it was pretty cool just to watch it kind of casually rock by, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So what? This is a sea krait. So these are actually snakes. Right. These are actually snakes. Black banded. And where I filmed this yellow-lipped sea krait, there was actually a ton of current. So you can see it just getting swept away, like right into the rocks. That was pretty cool to see. I mean, I was swept all the way away because I didn't hold on to anything. That's another one here. It's looking for food. And yeah, I don't know what that was about, but it must have tasted good or something. Who knows? But these snakes, they can get actually really long, like really long. And they're so pretty. They're so pretty. Just look at the scales on this thing. Just look at how beautiful it is. And then when it moves away, you can even see the tail, how it's flat. I thought that was really cool, because I've never imagined, like I've always wondered, like how do snakes swim around in the ocean? It doesn't make sense. But then you see this with a flat tail and it's just like, wow, I'm so stupid. Of course they have a flat tail. What else is dangerous under the water? Well, we got sea urchins, and it's a hidden danger more than a known danger. These guys, if you touch them, it's very likely that they're gonna break off into your skin, and that spike thing is gonna stay in there until it comes out on its own. If you try to pick it out, apparently it's gonna break. I literally never touched one because I was afraid that was gonna happen, and I didn't want any pain for weeks and weeks. I just no, I don't want pain. But like, there's so many of them. I wonder if it's like a mating agreement or something they have going on. And the spikes, they can be so long. I mean, just look at this. That's my hand for reference. These spikes are like 3 times the length of the width of my hand, really. But then you actually also have some pretty ones. Like the sea urchin double-spined. Like the double-spined sea urchin. That one was white, this one's red. And they come in other colors as well. This one's a fire sea urchin. You can actually have fire underwater, apparently. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Like, they get all these funny colors, all these pretty colors. This one was crawling along the seafloor for ages, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, oh, I should have recorded it, and then recorded it, and then I only got like half a roll. Yeah. So what do you know? Well, while we're at the topic of being at the bottom of the seafloor, where all the sea urchins and everything else lives, just look at all this crap. Just look at all this stuff on the floor. Just plastic and rubbish and all kinds just on the floor. It is crazy. So some days we just did these cleanups where we brought a net out and we just put in anything that was rubbish, anything that didn't belong in the ocean. And then you look around and you just see all this other trash and rubbish all over the place on the surface, and it's just like, what's the point? What's the point of picking all this crap up if they're just gonna wash out and back into the ocean again because nobody has a rubbish bin in this country? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's so pointless. And then, yeah, well, that's the end of the video. At the end here, that's just me. That's just me blowing some bubble rings. I'm actually really good at it. Well, I mean, I'm not anymore, but I could probably relearn it pretty quickly. It's really fun, and you really get a bit of lightheaded. You get a bit lightheaded when you do it, just because there's so much air going out so quickly. But it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. You should try it. And that's my mate here, Justin. He's a really good guy. You should totally enjoy what he's doing, because he's making those rings with his fist, and he's the one who taught me how to do it. So that was the video, and next one will be all about squishy animals. Squishy, squishy.